Okay, here's the interpretation, guys. Part B. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it line by line. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth. Think of this as a what, not a who. And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. Guys, I believe this star is talking about. This is not the morning star. This is not Lucifer, and this is not a who. This is a what. This star is actually the atomic bomb that was dropped from Hiroshima at Hiroshima from Enola Gay in 1945 August. And he opened up the bottomless pit, and I believe that's talking about splitting the atom. When you split the atom, when let me continue. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the air. This is as the smoke of a great furnace. This is the mushroom cloud. And the sun and the moon were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And if you do some googling or YouTubing about survivors of the Hiroshima bomb and Nagasaki, the Japanese people describe the actual sky event, and besides all the medical problems and cancer and all that stuff, but it describes a very dark, very eerie sky, as it's described here in Revelation chapter 9. As far as the bottomless pit area, when you open up when you split an atom, you create destruction. And actually, as the bomb drop from Enola Gay, you're seeing a star fall onto the earth. It's not actually opening up a bottomless pit like you're drawing a cartoon picture, but when you split that atom, it swoops it up and it creates this great gigantic furnace. And to me, that's what it's describing. It opens up the bottomless pit, and it pushes up this energy. It has this tremendous energy when you split an atom. That to me is what describing opening up the bottomless pit means. So once again, a star fell from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key to the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the air, out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the moon, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. To me, this is describing the atomic bomb of 1945. And remember, this is a time period. When it's talking about trumpets in the book of Revelation, it is an events, plural, and it's a time period. It's giving you a time period of what happened during that time period. This is the beginning of the atomic era, the nuclear era, 1945. Chapter 9, the star that fell from the heaven, is the atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima. And here we go. What comes out of this smoke is locust. And there came out of the smoke locust upon the earth, and unto them was given power. They have power. These locusts have power. Okay, so we know this about the locust. It's not a literal locust. And it was commanded that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God on their foreheads. And once again, I'm not going to be popular when I talk about these people with the God seals on their forehead, who they are. But this locust that came out of this smoke, that came out of the atomic era, these locusts, it's not literal locusts, they have power. And what kind of power they have? They have power to torment people. And hurt people that don't have the seal of God on forehead. And to them was given that they should not kill them, but that they should torment them for 5 months. Once again, 5 months is used because the literal locust would come around seasonally and devour crops for 5 months. But so that's where John gets the 5 months. But it's not literal 5 months because it's not a literal locust. So the time period is not a literal 5 months. We know here because it's not a literal locust. But that they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment was the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. It gives you the symbolic power or the kind of pain the humans are getting, kind of like a sting from a scorpion. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And to me, this is describing the effects of what the locusts are doing. The locust is the United States military-industrial complex. A star fell from the heavens opened up the bottomless pit. The atomic energy opened up the bottomless pit. When you split an atom, it creates a gigantic furnace, create a mushroom cloud effect. And out of this smoke, darkened the sky. And out of this smoke out of this era, came Locust. Locust is a military industrial complex that comes from a country. You could say it's Russia, you could say it's England, you could say whoever. But from 1945 until today, the only nation in perpetual wars is our military, the United States military industrial complex. Korean War, Vietnam War, the Gulf Wars, Libya, Yemen, Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, Egypt, and all the wars that happened in Central America, all the conflicts, the secret wars, the drug-on wars, what happened to Indonesia. You can research all this stuff. All the conflicts our Locust Army has been involved in. CIA, or Marines, or Navy, or Air Force, all the bombings we have done, all the conflict secrets, all the real wars, the real 6-year war in Vietnam, 6-year war in North Korea, or Korean wars, the Gulf Wars have been lasting 20, 25 years, all the small conflicts. It's talking about the United States military industrial complex. I know I'm not going to be popular about this, but I felt compelled to say it, and I hope I'm saying the right things to explain this. And once again, there came out of the smoke. The smoke, he's talking about an era. What is this smoke? It's the atomic bomb era. This locust came out of this era that had power. What kind of power they had? They had power to torment people for 5 months. It's not literal 5 months. We know it's 80 years now, because they're not literal locusts. They are an army. They are a military industrial complex. And the only nation that's been in charge is the United States of America, since USSR balkanized and became Russia. It's only now that we're seeing this. Another video that can be made about Russia and what's going to happen with Gog and Magog. That's a different time period. That's very close also. But Russia is rising. The bear is rising again. But the bear is not talking about chapter 9 here. It's talking about America's era. And it describes what these locusts are. As it's the United States. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle. Horses prepared. When the Bible says horses prepared unto battle, it's talking about a military. And on their heads were as if crowns of gold, and their faces were as the faces of men. So I'm going to stop here, because actually I already made this video. For some reason it didn't get recorded. So I had to do it again. So the next video continues in the next verse. So I'm just going to continue to finish this 15 minutes. And hopefully I didn't miss anything. So I'm going to go over again. The fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fell from heaven unto the earth. Atomic bomb. If you guys can bear with me and go along line by line. And I hope hopefully some of you get it. Some of you get the red pill here. And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. Well, who is the who here? The star. The star was given the key to the bottomless pit. And they say what? It's not a who. Remember, the star here, I believe, is not the morning star, not the son of man, not the son of perdition, not that old serpent, Lucifer. And it's talking about, this is the atomic bomb, and it's talking about a time period. This is the beginning of a time era, folks. The star that fell from heaven is 1945, when the first atomic bomb was dropped. It opened up an era called the atomic era, or the nuclear era, and that's the time period we're living in now. And as I go through the rest of this chapter, it's going to explain who this Appolyon is, or King Abaddon. But anyways, I got about 2 minutes. And it says here, and there came smoke. There came out of the smoke locust, a military industrial complex, who had power like a scorpion, and it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass or neither any green thing. And as far as who don't have the shield of God, these are the refugees, folks. These are all the people that we dropped bombs in their countries and took their sovereignty away. We dropped bombs to get rid of their infrastructure. we're not allowed to kill them, but we killed them indirectly. They went hungry. They got injured, and they died from the injury. We killed many people. We weren't allowed to kill these people. The locusts were not allowed. We were bombing infrastructures. Okay, that's what our Air Force does. But in the end, the destruction is so great. The locusts devouring the crops is so great that it did cause a lot of destruction and death. And I believe this is talking about the United States era of leadership in the past 80 years up to present, which is going to change real soon. Once again, I'm not going to be popular, but yeah, it's part B. When you continue on to part B, it talks about the end of American era. I'm not going to be popular. Nobody's going to like my video. But I don't know when I'm going to make that video, but that's part B. That's the 7th trumpet, which continues right after. And anyways, I have a part 3 to this. But my video is almost done here. I got about a minute. I'm going to continue the rest of this. But as far as now you know that the star is an atomic bomb. It's not. A lot of people that talked about this, especially the pre-trib guys, the dispensationalists, will tell you that all this is future. I know, I've studied all this, and that this is actually Lucifer. That's the most popular viewpoint of this, is that it's Lucifer. It's literal locust. But I'm here to tell you that it's not. That this star is not a who, it's a what. It is, and the what isn't the atomic bomb. And I'll make reference to it towards the end of the video, the end of the 3rd video. There's a 3rd video that talks about Appolyon, because Appolyon and the star is the same thing. King Appolyon or King Abaddon and this same star is the same thing, which a lot of people, like against dispensationals, believe they're both talking about Lucifer, but I'm saying it is the atomic bomb. And when I finish the 3rd video, which is coming right after this, I'll explain why I believe that. Okay, so that's it, guys. Make comments, but take it easy. I'm just giving you my honest version. Hopefully people get the red pill like I have. Take the red pill, and like I said, don't draw this as you're reading it. Think of it as a poetic guy writing a book. It's all description. And everything in here is a timeline. Each trumpet is a time. And I believe chapter 8 is a previous timeline, chapter 9, which is talking about World War II. All the trumpets in Revelation chapter 8 is a description of the destruction of World War II. So chapter 9 is the very ending of the World War II era and the beginning of the Cold War era, which the United States won. And the perpetual wars the Locust has been creating across the globe. So that's it, guys. I'm going to stop this video. Tune in. Hopefully you watch the 3rd video. I'm going to label it part 1, part 2, and part 3 of Revelation chapter 9.